Hello and welcome to a tutorial on C++ inheritance. I'm going to be showing you how you can use classes and inheritance. So let's start off by creating a class called displayable. And then we just need that. So this will be our class that our subclasses are going to inherit. Subclasses are classes that inherit a parent class. So this is our parent class right here. So under parent class, if we want to be able to create a void or a procedure that all the other subclasses can do, but we don't want it to be just defined by this, they can have their own definitions, but still be under one category. We can call it, well, first let's do our public identifier, and then we'll call a virtual void, and then we'll just call this one draw, or display better. That's better. Matches with this. So virtual void display. Then we just have to implement that. So void displayable display. And this one is just going to see out object displayed. And then there we go. So then the next class we're going to do, we're going to create a subclass. This subclass is going to be called our player class. And what our player class is going to do is it is going to inherit, that's a colon there, it's going to inherit displayable. This is how you show inheritance, is by doing that colon right there and then the class that you want to inherit. So this is now a subclass to displayable. So, and actually we want it to be a subclass to public displayable. So we want to be able to access all the public procedures of displayable. So now that we have this, we can call our virtual void display under our own public. So we'll say virtual void display right there. And then we can call void player display. And this one is going to see out player displayed. And then 2 new lines. And then the last subclass we're going to create is class enemy. And then this one is also going to inherit public displayable, right like that. Don't forget the semicolons at the end of classes. I sometimes forget that and you run into stupid errors like that. Then we want to say public. We also want to create our virtual void display. And then down here we just implement it. So void enemy display, and then this one is going to see out enemy displayed. 2 new lines. Okay, so then the next thing we want to do to actually create new ones of these and show them, we can create a vector of displayable pointers called myGame. And the reason that you need that little asterisk there, or it's called a pointer in C++, is that if we didn't have this pointer here, it would just be able to hold, this vector would just be able to hold displayable class objects. But because we have this pointer here, anything that is in reference to displayable will be able to be added to this vector. And seeing as how enemy and player both inherit displayable, we can add enemies and players to different classes into one vector. So that's the whole point of doing inheritance, is to do this. So then to display them, we could just say for vector of displayable pointers equal iterator called iter equal to mygame.begin, while iter is not equal to mygame.end, so it goes through the whole vector, and then we want to increment our iteration. And then actually, to do a pointer, we have to put it in parentheses, the current iteration, so that pointer there is to reference the current iteration. Then we need to do the arrow, because you need the arrow to do an iteration of a subclass, display, and we just want to display the current iteration. So now if we run this, hold on a second. Oh, I see the problem. I never added any enemies or players to our game excuse me, to our game. So we want to say my game dot pushback a new player, and then my game dot excuse me, pushback new enemy. So now if we run this, you'll see player was displayed and enemy was displayed, and these are these are two separate classes being displayed in one vector. So I'm also just going to name this subclass, and then this one is also a subclass here. Okay, yeah, so this is how you can use inheritance in C++ to allow multiple classes to be allocated into one vector and then display them. So yeah, all the source code will be down in the description. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and see you next time.